The 8th National Assembly has finally reached a milestone with the passage of the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill, otherwise known as the PIGB. This is historic. And meanwhile, the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NEITI, on Sunday commended the National Assembly for the passage of the PIGB, stating that the bill will stem the massive loss of revenue recorded in the petroleum industry arising from corrupt practices and process lapses. Okay, so that's what we are going to be taking a look at this morning, and I'm being joined to take a look at this from the Social Action. I believe it's a civil society organization. Mrs. Vivian Bellonwu, beg your pardon. Madam, welcome and Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Happy New Year.
Nice to see you again.
Yes.
Yeah, so good news, right?
Well, I do not totally agree that it's good news. I think this is seriously a misinformation. You know, for those of us that know the history of the PIB, this actually is not even the PIB. This is a PIGB. Yes, this is a PIGB.
Yeah.
The PIB has come a long way, you know. Just like the Senate President said, it has survived 3 administrations, and it's not a good thing that a bill that is as important, as critical as the petroleum industry bill should linger in the legislature for this long while. And so, but then let us look at the purpose, the essence of this PIB in the first place. Now, the PIB was conceived to be a regulatory framework, you know, that will regulate virtually everything that has to do with the petroleum industry. You and I know the issues that the petroleum industry have been going through: massive corruption of monumental standards. You have environmental degradation that has gone to, you know, global. In fact, it's the dimension in Niger Delta of environmental degradation is something that even the whole world has raised alarm concerning. You know, UNEP did a small study of the area, of just the Goni area, you know, not even the entire Niger Delta, and the report of UNEP was very alarming. And then you also have issues of community discontent. There are so many issues of community because you have the resource control, you have the host community issues and all that. So the idea, you know, the very good idea that your administration had was that all these issues, all this discontent that was leading to the crisis that we were having in the Niger Delta, we are going to be, to a very large extent, very poor laws instigated this, you know, the conditions that the oil and gas is being extracted in Nigeria. So Yaradua came up with this very fantastic idea. Okay, let us review these laws and bring Nigeria's oil and gas standards in line with global best practices. And that was what gave birth to the PIB. And when I say the PIB, I mean the original PIB.
Original documents.
Yes. That took care of all these issues that I had mentioned. But over time, year after year, administration after administration, the National Assembly simply refused to see reason to pass the bill as it was. You know, and so after having gone through from Yaradua to Jonathan, you know, even with Jonathan being from that area still, he wasn't able to push it through. And then up to this administration, it was represented, but then balkanized into what you and I are calling today the PIGB. Now, this PIGB is just a minuscule aspect of the PIB. It only takes care of the fiscal, that is to say, the Naira and Kobo aspect of the...
Yeah, I've not read the whole document, but it's from people who have read it, like a lot of things were not addressed. But very quickly, let me just to what NEITI is saying. That's why I started by asking, is this good news? Because according to NEITI, the petroleum industry had also revealed that over $10.4 billion and 378.8 billion naira were lost through under remittances, inefficiencies, theft or absence of a clear governance framework for the oil and gas industry. Now, they're also saying that the total cost to the nation in 2013 alone was 1.7 trillion naira, largely as a result of the absence of a new law. So maybe that's where some kind of optimism is coming in, if you will. even though it's been balkanized like you, and I agree with you, it doesn't look like there's so much hope, but it's better than never.
I disagree, absolutely. I disagree because, look, you cannot count two without counting one. You have to count, you have to lay the foundation first, before you jump into this Naira and Kobo. Just like I was telling you, what the PIGB largely takes care of is the fiscal aspect. That's what Knight is saying. It's largely, it breaks up the NNPC, the whole bundle, it unbundles the NNPC into different aspects, to take care of the exportation, the importation, the exploration, and all of that, the remittances, just like they are talking about. But that shouldn't be where we should be now.
But at least you will agree it's a process.
No,
the process is that the huge revenue losses.
No.
As a result of process lapses, outright stealing will be reduced.
I am coming from. You cannot have revenue in the first place if you do not have the enabling environment to get that revenue. Now, what has simply been done is that, you simply overlook the disaster that is happening in terms of environment in the Niger Delta. You say, oh, that can wait. People can continue dying. People can continue inhaling flare gas. People can continue, farmers that have suffered losses of livelihood, or it can continue being spilled mindlessly. No, that can wait. Let us.
If I understand your argument right now, what you're saying is that
what should have been done in the first place
was to protect,
to take the environmental protection aspect
first before considering the Naira and Kobo, which they will benefit from.
The right environmental protection framework in place. Say yes. Now this is now how we do the business. Look, you can't do business when you don't have plan.
So what you're saying is that there's no need to go to town being happy.
Absolute. For the Niger Delta, this is another disappointment.
Yeah, but the Senate President is saying this is historic.
That's political, purely political language. I tell you. And look, this is how the state, instigates crisis. This is how the state instigates violence. Now, the Niger Delta had hoped that this PIB, you need to go there to see the kind of eagerness with which they are waiting the PIB, because it held several hopes. I bet you.
But let's put this thing squarely where it should be. Within the Senate and the House of Representatives, we have members of the National Assembly who are from that region. I'm not sure I heard any of them, any dissenting voice, even from people from that region, saying, let's put this other bill, let's pass this one you're talking about now, let's deal with the environmental issues first before we even go to this Naira and Kobo one that we know that the entire Nigerian nation will benefit from. I didn't hear a dissenting voice, even no matter how minority it is. Not one.
Well, just like I told you, it's all politics. And
yeah, but politics, if you cannot speak for your people, why are you there?
I agree with you. There is a bundle of disappointment from our people. We've not had very good leaders down there in the Niger. But then also don't forget that there is the legislature is a matter of numbers. Legislative works when you put certain issues to vote and all that, and then the majority carries the day. And so the number of lawmakers you have coming from the Niger Delta, we cannot muster enough numbers to pass this vote if our brothers and sisters from other parts of the country do not see the
Okay, maybe while I'm not holding brief for the National Assembly in passing this component of the PIGB, because it's in several right now, we don't know when the others will see the light of day. Maybe just to say that it's possible that due to the economic hardship right now, in their wisdom, they said, okay, you know what, let's find a way to make sure that we shore up revenue and to be able to meet certain needs and make infrastructure available. Maybe that's what they were thinking of. Probably that is why they chose to say, you know what, let's deal with this aspect of the PIGB first before we go to the environmentals.
Perhaps you do not know the history of this PIB. All these, in fact, what has just been done.
And I agree. Why unbundle in the first instance?
We have gotten to the point of just passing. Recall that at the last assembly, this bill was actually passed, but it was only passed by the House of Reps, and they blocked it. There are certain interests that has refused. These are interests that are collaborating to keep, the sufferings of the Niger Delta, to keep the pollution that is going on, to keep the exploitation, the degradation that is going on, to maintain the status quo. These are the interests that have blocked the environmental aspect and the community aspect from being.
Okay, Vivian, again, I come to.
Do not want the end for Nigeria to have an end to gas flaring.
I come back to what I was saying. The senators and the House of Rep members from that region, there are about 9 states, Niger Delta, because if you add the Ondo states and the Imo states and I think one other state now, Edo state, I believe, if you put all of those states together that make up the Niger Delta region, they have enough numbers there. All they needed to do was lobby. Realizing the fact, listen, madam, the point I'm trying to make here is this. Ogoni cleanup, for instance. This government flagged off Ogoni cleanup in 2016, I believe. Since that time till now, nothing has been heard. And I have not heard the senator or the House of Rep member representing even Ogoni land itself complaining that you flagged off a cleanup exercise in my place. You have not done anything. I have not heard him cry out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know you hear where I'm coming from? Now we're talking about the PIGB that has been balkanized again. I did not hear if a senator or a House of Rep member from that same region said, no. My people as we speak are dying. Can we address this one first before we go to this Naira and Kobo? Because if that place collapses, you can't even get the oil from the place. I did not hear those voices speak. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you ask yourself, so what is the quality of representation in both chambers of the National Assembly for the people? Just to let you know, yesterday in church, a friend of mine, an SAN, traveled to Warri, to be specific, over the weekend. And he saw me yesterday. He said he has never been to Warri before. And he said he has always wondered, why are we representatives of the people who should speak and make an issue out of this? I'm not hearing their voices.
It's purely issue of leadership failure. I said it earlier, I admitted it, that the region has not benefited from quality leadership, and it has to a very large extent impacted on the quality and standard of lives there. Because these are the people that ordinarily would have been the voices of the common man.
Exactly, and with the amount of resources, if you will, that has been deployed to their region. Through the ministries, through the NDDC, all manner of programs that have been.
This is the argument that is being made. When we are pushing initially for the PIB, they say, but why are you guys pushing for the communities? A lot go to the Niger Delta. You have the NDDC, you have the unpaid, the 13%.
And it's true.
You have all
but it's true.
Now, you are just telling me about the guy that went to Warri just over the weekend and was practically whipping.
So question I'm asking, what has NDDC done with all the resources it's been given? What is the Niger Delta Ministry doing with all the money it's been getting?
It boils down to what we're saying, more leadership. On paper, you and I see that a whole lot of money is being channeled to the region. But how has that money been tracked? How has that money been monitored? So
should the Niger Delta people themselves should the Niger Delta people themselves be said to be docile in even things that concerns them? Because if people that and positioned to make things happen for you are not doing that,
but they are not docile.
You're not holding anybody responsible.
No. That is the reaction that you have been seeing. Some of the guns that have been booming, in the Niger Delta emanates, out of frustration.
Yeah, but I think the guns are booming in the wrong from to the wrong place, in my opinion. You have NDDC MDs and managing directors and GMs, whatever they call those titles, that head those places since it was established these people are all from that region. Billions of naira has been voted to this region. We haven't seen these people do anything. What happens, Vivian, is these people get this appointment, they become billionaires overnight. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's very, very annoying.
Unknown entities come to just assume, and they become billionaires. And so all the monies that are coming in.
I cannot point to any hoping or any work he has done over the years, suddenly.
So my point is, here is why I'm taking this argument to. Yes, I understand that federal government probably is not showing enough political will, but I also believe that the people from that, like you said, leadership problem. So the people need to hold these people responsible.
Absolutely.
Niger Deltans need to hold their sons and daughters responsible for the degradation of our environment.
Absolutely.
We cannot continue to blame the federal government when we have people who we know that even if the one that you were given, can we see you use the warning to look at the East-West Road, for instance? What does it take to fix that road? How many hospitals do we have in Niger Delta? Not one. Not one good hospital. The one that former governor of Akwa Ibom built, even when he had an accident, he had to go abroad to go and treat himself. The hospital, world-class hospital that he built, he could not even go there to get treated. So you ask yourself, what are we talking about?
Exactly. And these are the issues that as civil society organizations that relate directly, with the people, with communities. We are still part of communities.
We're not asking the right questions. That's what I think.
We are still members of the community.
Yes.
You see, there's the people also have a right to live. They have a right to defend their lives, their environment. And when you see the people taking up arms against the state, it is out of frustration towards these sort of things.
And the argument I again make is taking arms against the state is not answering the question of getting involved in governance, knowing fully well that 200 billion maybe in a year was voted for certain organizations for interventions to do certain things, and you don't see these things, you don't ask questions.
Of course, people are asking questions.
Really?
No, people. You see, I just came back from Port Harcourt over the weekend, and for virtually all the radio stations in Port Harcourt, every morning, you see that you see engagement. You see people engaging government. Asking the budget you made for social community and from social community. You see people calling. There is no such thing existing, and then it's there in the budget. What happens? In fact, in one of the radio programs, to give you a specific example, Nigeria Info, during one of the heated programs, agents of the state had to come in live into the studio to physically remove a presenter and stop the program mid-air because the government felt that, look, this was being too anti-government. The people were asking too much questions. It was becoming too uncomfortable with that. So I tell you, the agitation is just that here in Abuja is likely not getting to here in Abuja. Get down there, you will see that the agitation is live. And it's real. The government is feeling it. And I tell you the reason why I say the government is feeling it. As I speak to you today, what used to obtain is that there's no single government, apart from Bayelsa State, no single government budget in Niger Delta that you see with your two eyes. The people do not even know how government is run. The people do not even know, what, because budget, that's the contract between the people and the government. Look, we are going to do this, and then in exchange for social and social resources. Nobody has ever seen it. But because the awareness has seriously increased, as I speak to you today, all the governments in the Niger Delta have their budgets online. You can Google and see for your state, except River State, which has adamantly, in fact, in River State, the conditions, the democratic conditions has rather reversed, because we used to have the budget immediately it is passed up there and for the public, for everybody, because that's a public document. But immediately this administration came in, very strangely, it removed it. Even the one that was there before, it removed the budget document. And as I speak to you today, that is one point of agitation that you also, the media, should please also help us get involved.
All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at some other angle to this discussion. I'll be right back. You're tuned into 104.5 Love FM Crowder Radio, your family love station. I've been joined in the studio by Vivian, Bellonwu, Social Action Group, and we're taking a look at the passage of the PIGB, the new version of the PIB as passed by the 8th National Assembly. And like I said to you earlier on, the Senate President and indeed the Speaker of the House of Representatives they've said this is historic and is landmark, by all ramifications in their opinion. But the truth is, if you know the original PIB that was first introduced to the parliament by the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua in 2008, you will see that a lot of damage has been done to that bill. The issue that has to do with the environment has been kept aside. In fact, as a matter of fact, the PIB has been balkanized into 3 different parts. So this is one, and the one the government, the National Assembly, chose to work on is to address the issue of transparency in governance in oil industry and all that, according to them, to save money, to check corruption and all that. But the most critical issue, which has to do with the environment itself, where this product comes from and the resources come from, that one has been kept in this. I mean, it's been kept. Even the one that borders on the welfare and the people of the Niger Delta has also been kept at home. I mean, it's kept in view. But this for them is the most important. And you ask, what's the sincerity in all of this? And my guest has been saying, you know what, there's really nothing to be excited about, especially if you are from that region, if you are a Nigerian and you truly believe that this country is one, you will not celebrate this quote-unquote historic passage of the PIGB. Okay, so Vivian, let's again look at while I have tried, even as much as you totally did not agree with me, but you at some point also agree that the leadership also of the people of the Niger Delta has not helped matters, because a lot of the blame will also fall at their table. Like I said, even within the House and the Senate, I really did not hear so many dissenting voices speaking up loudly and clearly, saying, look, we needed to address the environmental issues. And that's what we keep talking about in Nigeria. Leadership in this country rarely sees things from the bigger picture. It's most times from the self. And maybe that's why we've seen what we're seeing right now.
Well, yes, to a very large extent. You are correct. You are correct. I would not disagree with you that substantial resources has not accrued to the Niger Delta. It has. But what has come out of it? Nothing. The standard of life or living of people there are not in any way. In fact, they are worse than compared to other. Recall the report of UNEP. At a point when this thing was this apogee, the United Nations Environmental Program, undertook a team, a working, a field trip to there and did research and found out that its findings were very far-reaching. It discovered that the water that human beings are drinking there, has acidic level, that the toxicity of the water was over 300,000 times above normal level.
Yeah.
Above normal. In fact, UNEP immediately said that all the water in the whole of that should be shut down. From its headquarters in Geneva, it had to raise signal to Nigerian government.
Just so that our listeners can understand what you're saying. I was in Bayelsa maybe a year or two ago now. I used to visit Bayelsa a lot at that time. And the hotel we stayed in this time, the water we used to take our bath, the soap you were using couldn't foam because the water was, I don't know what to say, but it was not responding to soap. I'm not kidding. You could use a whole bar of soap, it will not foam. That's how bad the water is. And we had to complain.
And it's even a hotel.
Yes.
That where you expect to get the highest
we complained.
standards.
And the hotel said that's the water they have.
That is it.
What do we do? Do you understand? So, and that is even a hotel.
Exactly.
That you'll expect that guests will come in and they will have some, cosmetic kind of. But no, we couldn't take our bath with the water, because when we saw that and say, then if this one is not responding to soap, it will damage your skin.
Exactly. But they drink it.
Like you said, but people drink this water.
Drink it, bathe with it,
cook with it,
wash with it, everything. That is what we live with. Every day of our day, we inhale. You're even talking of water. The air is mixed with all manner of gases. We inhale this round the clock. That is what we live with all the days of our lives. And you see, what does it cost to take care of the golden gold that lays
the irony for me in all of this, Nigeria is not the only oil producing country in the world. If you go to places like Dubai, go to Texas, these are oil producing even Angola. Let me not even go too far. Angola here in Africa. If you see what they use their oil money to do, you ask yourself, What is wrong with us?
Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we, and this is another classical example. This opportunity that our lawmakers have to right the wrongs, to lay the proper frameworks, for this opportunity is more or less gone.
But before I open up the phone lines, one of the, and I want you to react to this, besides the damage that exploration does to the environment, in agitating for their rights, the youth of the region have also further aggravated the region.
To self-help.
Self-help, thereby, spilling more oil when you blow up the pipelines. Of course, it spills. It further destroys the ecosystem of the place. That's why you have a lot of aqua. So how do you react? I mean, yes, we have not been well treated, but two wrongs don't make a right.
We agree with you. I agree with you to the extent that, somebody see this is their mindset. This is their thinking. Now, this is my farmland. The oil pipeline goes through my farmland, and naturally, by virtue of that, I cannot do anything on that farmland. There in the Niger Delta, these are largely farmers we are talking about. Remember, fishermen and all that. I cannot go to the fishing port and expect to get any meaningful fish there. Nothing, everything, the fishes, everything is dead. I cannot go to my farmland because this thing passes through there is no trespass. I can't even enter there. And then I am left just like that. Even the government that is supposed to cater for my welfare, provide certain infrastructure, nothing is there. And then every morning I watch that pipeline pass through, and I know that it has certain contents that has the capacity to put food on my table. Now the temptation, the mindset of that youth is that, look, I will go and take that's rightly, it's my farmland, it's my father's land. If that land belongs to me traditionally, culturally, I should go there and take from there and help myself. They have simply resorted to self-help as a result of state failure. And these were the things that the bill would have addressed. The Yar'Adua administration conceived this thing perfectly by remember that there was a 10% equity for communities. This was to make community persons shareholders in the oil and gas business. Naturally, somebody that is, if you and I own this business, our interest will be how to make this survive, how to make this prosper. But now, all that now has been rubbish to be doing.
So, finally now, it has been passed. So they are only waiting for the assent of the president to the bill to pass it into law. What's the way forward? Especially from the point of view of the civil society.
It's not too late. It's not too late. Not just civil society. This bill is as good as done. The 2012 version of this bill that the last assembly passed is still there. It is from there that they simply extracted the Naira and Kobo version that they passed. So we have been, every right-thinking person has been appealing to them. Look, if it will take this decade, you can imagine from 2008 to 2018 for just this aspect of it. Now imagine how many more decades
it will take another segment.
Exactly. And how many more it will take to... So they have the opportunity to write their names in gold. This is a disappointment to the people of the Niger Delta. And if you begin to see crisis, if you begin to see people blocking oil sites and all that, no, you can't take this from this any longer, you don't begin to blame them. So this is an appeal to them that there is no reason why every work has been done. It has got that bill, that PIB, has gone round, it has gone through 3 public hearings, it has gone around all the regions. They did a fantastic job on it. Everything, it's just like the state's creation issue or constitutional amendment issue, that all the works were done, and in the end it was done. A whole lot of resources have gone into doing that legislative work, and in the end, please let them simply go back to it. It's as good as done. Let us, go beyond this level.
Okay, there's a conversation I would like to open up. I don't have enough time. I wanted to do a comparative analysis with the American legislative style, where instead of this voice vote thing that we're doing here, which I think is very fraudulent, fraudulent to this point that you don't know who is voting for or against. Most of them even do double at the end of the day just to confuse the whole setup. And so you really don't, like for instance now, there's a shutdown in America because of numbers. just for numbers' sake, the government is on shutdown just to agree on immigrant and DACA. What do we do? They need a certain number of votes for government to reopen, and then we negotiate. I mean, if we have those kind of legislative procedures here, then you can obviously say, you know what, we need this number to speak for this, and if the numbers don't meet up, nothing goes on.
You can even monitor, from the guy or from wherever
exactly
we are, to know the lawmakers, the legislators that voted against,
Yeah, because when this voice vote clearly
like said,
is fraudulent, is a fraudulent process. Absolutely. All right, we're going to open up the phone lines now and see what Abuja has to say on this matter. And you can call us on 0909 4350415. I'm being joined this morning by Vivian Bellonwu, who have been taking a look at the PIGB that has just been passed by the National Assembly, waiting for the accent of the president to pass it into law. So you can call us, or you can also send us a WhatsApp message to that particular number. Oh, the WhatsApp is not working? Okay, no network, no internet network today. The network is bad, sorry. But you can call us and let's have your say. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning.
Yeah, this is Godswill.
Godswill, you're welcome.
Yeah, talking about the PIBB, I don't know what is behind the president to sign that bill to law.
They just passed it. It's just been passed yesterday. Hello? It was just passed last week. Just Wednesday. On Wednesday, it was just on Wednesday. It was passed.
Yes.
So they will need to harmonize it before they send it to him for assent.
Okay, we are praying that they should do something fast.
Okay.
To add those fuel scarcity with all those whatever the hardship that Nigeria is going through in this country. So do something fast.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Godswill. Thank you for calling in this morning. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Yes. Good morning.
And this is Isaac from Airport Road.
Isaac, how was your weekend?
It was okay.
Good. Let's hear you.
Honestly, when I heard of this bill, I was not happy because, to me, it does not represent the interest of the Niger Delta.
Okay.
The bill has not touched what's supposed to be meant for the grassroots. So this bill is just a surface bill. To me, it is as if a bill has not been passed. That is my own contribution.
Okay. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you very much for your contribution this morning. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, my name is Ola. I'm calling from Lugbe.
Ola from Lugbe, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Yes, personally, I don't think we should even believe ourselves with whether or not the politicians from Niger Delta key into this Ogoni project. Personally, we know politicians for who they are. They want to play politics with everything in this country. They place the interest, they place their own personal interest ahead of the interest of the nation. But I would say that I think it is the federal government that is supposed to take up this issue of hello?
I'm with you.
Yes, it is the federal government that is supposed to take up this issue of Ogoni cleanup, with so much fervency. The federal government does not, in my own thinking, need the PIGP or any other law to do the needful. I don't think so. For instance, the UNEP report on Ogoni cleanup in 2011 is there for everybody to see. So if the federal government is very serious in going about this cleanup, they don't even need to wait for the procedure. They don't need to wait for the National Assembly. Yeah,
but then, Allah, you will agree that one of the reasons why I think it has to become like we need to have to do this to give you some legal backing. Otherwise, I mean, like you're saying now, the UNEP report, because it's just a report, I mean, government is really not bound to take it up. But if there's a law binding that you must do this, shouldn't that be what we all need to encourage? Yes, I'm with you.
Hello, Mr. Patrick.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, I don't think the federal government needs any law to go about that cleanup. I don't think so. I'm telling you the truth. Now, if they allocate some money for the cleanup in the budget, are you telling me that the National Assembly will wave it aside? They're not going to do that.
But it comes down to political will, Ola.
Yes, I know. In fact, that's what I'm going to. Yeah. It comes to the political will on the part of the federal government because it's not the politicians that disburse the money. It's the federal government. It's not the National Assembly that disburse the money. It's the federal government that disburse the money. At the end of the day, so we have a government that is placing so much priority establishing the cattle colony. If you look at the fervency with which they've gone about it, I mean, the Minister of Agriculture just told us last week that this week they're going to go about, they're going to start the cattle colony. Look at the kind of fervency they put into it. Look at the kind of fervency they also put into, the so-called oil exploration in the northeast part of this country. That is to show you that this is a government that most of the time, misplaces its own priority. So in a nutshell, I don't think they need any law. They don't even need to wait for PGIB before they do the needful, like I said earlier.
Okay.
That's my contribution.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Let's take another call now. Hello. Good morning.
Oh, very good morning.
Morning. How are you?
All right. This is Joseph.
Joseph from Area 11.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Joseph.
Okay. That is, this PIB. The National Assembly, they are even talking that they have passed PIGB. Yeah, from PIB to PIGB. Let me tell you, what they are doing is not fair. Why should they select the one that they like and pass? What happened to the others? Let me tell you, if this Niger, let's assume that this oil is in North now, and they are just just like the golden egg for the country. And this issue of PhD comes up in the National Assembly. I'm very sure they will start their ground and make sure that the whole thing is passed. But why can't we organize ourselves and make sure that the whole thing that was there during the time of Shagari is passed into law? They just allow him to adjourn the something, play down, remove whatever they were, and pass the one that should them most. I mean, it's not fair. Nigerians should stand up and tell them that the whole thing should take it back to the National Assembly, let them do the right thing. I can't understand all these things, please. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Joseph. Okay, that will be my last call today. I need to come back to the studio to tidy up with Vivian here. Vivian, one critical, I have tried to highlight where I think the people of the Niger Delta have also not helped themselves. You get 30% derivation. You have NDDC. You have Ministry of Niger Delta. There was PADEC at one point, and you also have the states PADECs, as you call them, and different states. All of these are resources that have been channeled to help develop this region. All of this boils down to development and growth. If these resources and all of these intervention programs that government has put in place, with the 30% derivation that governors have been given to do certain things, again I ask, if these monies have been judiciously used, yes, it probably may not have answered all the questions, but it will have gone some way in agitating to the federal government. Shouldn't we also begin to critically look at our people who have been in position and have not done anything?
We have, and I agree with you, in total. I mean, without any iota of doubt that you are correct.
As a civil society organization, are you putting pressure on the people in leadership at the regional level?
Absolutely. So this election, we are leading a coalition of budget monitoring every year for all the states of the Niger Delta. We track the budgets and we release, we monitor the activities of government, the fiscal activities of government, those things that they had committed to do for all the states of Niger Delta. And every year we release a report of what we've seen. And I tell you that there has been no year that budget has been implemented up to 50% in any of the states. No year. No year.
Even with the amount of money that goes there.
Even with the amount of money. In one of the, in fact, we see a lot of things. In one of the states, we went to look for budget projects in Delta states. One of the years, I think 3-4 years back. We are tracking the health funds, the money that were allocated to health. And, at that particular year, there was this huge amount of money that was meant for a hospital in Delta. And so we went there looking for tracing that hospital. And when we got there, what we saw was pathetic. I would never, because that was the last year that I went to monitor budgets with them. I swore that I wasn't going again. The hospital was, when you say the word dilapidated is not, this is a hospital that has been in budget for years. There's every year it has been receiving allocation. It was in bush. The hospital was struggling with bush. We now waded through the bush to get into there. And then there, the woman gave birth right on the floor. With the baby, the blood, everything. She was on I broke down and started crying. I just broke down. They said, Madam, this is why we told you not to come with us.